Hi, it's Dr. Ray. I just want to talk to you for a minute about the brain commissures. Starting off, wasn't really explained what was happening with the communication sort of from one side of the brain to another. And it kind of was confusing because, neuroanatomists would point out, oh man, can you see this? This is the anterior commissure. But it's very hard to hold on to why things matter when you're learning a lot of terms and places. And so I just wanted to talk about this concept for a minute so that when you're learning these important commissures and their mentions, that you can kind of have put it together with why it matters, I guess. And so as the cerebral cortex is developing, remember they started off with diverticulum that grew out onto the right side or the left side, and then they just enlarged and just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. But there were still some places where the telencephalic vesicle on the right is connected to the left. And generally, we're going to call those cerebral commissures because they are going to be the place of communication between one side to another. And I guess the most important and natural commissure would be in this region here that's in green. This is the lamina terminalis, which is actually the most rostral aspect of the neural tube. So if you're following the ventricular system as being the center of the neural tube, this is where it stopped, right here. This is the most rostral aspects, and here the tube went down. And certainly there has outward characteristics that grew out from this tube, and then the telencephalon grew. This one grew out on the right side, and the left one's cut off. But this lamina terminalis is the most rostral aspect of the developing neural tube, and it remains sort of a natural commissure from the right to the left side of the hemispheres. Another commissure, or a place where information switches from one side or the other, is the optic chiasm, and you're going to learn to really sort of cue in on where the optic chiasm is located because it will help you identify where you are in the brain. So you'll learn about all the tracks from the retina back to the occipital lobe and the different places where you have synapses and that's going to be a lot of fun. But just remember that this is a place where you get some crossover and communication from one side to the other. And then two other important commissures. One, which is you can see in lab a lot if you cut just right the section just right, you can catch the anterior commissure, which is located in this region here. So just a fiber bundle that is going to connect the olfactory bulb from one hemisphere and other related areas to the other other hemisphere on the other side. And then also here you can see the hippocampus. Here's one, here's the fornix coming around, here's the other hippocampus, and you can see the hippocampal commissure is another way that the brain can transmit information from one side to another. So the largest cerebral commissure that you'll also use as an orientation point is going to be the corpus callosum. So it starts off very small around where the lamina terminalis is, but then as the telencephalon grows, it just enlarges and enlarges and enlarges and adds fibers to it as they grow downward from the cerebrum. And so just big picture item here is that this is going to be the largest and most recognizable commissure. You will hear about the other ones as your faculty talk about the anterior commissure or the hippocampal commissure, but yet the corpus callosum is still going to be the most prominent. And that's it. I hope that that helps get you off in the right foot when you hear these terms and understand what they mean and what they stand for. Thank you.